going on, Blossoms back, and welcome back to another episode of Top Drives and another episode of What Can You Get From That Pack. Today's pack review is going to be the Apex Grand Prix pack, the Platinum pack, or the Super Carbon, or the Carbon Fiber, or what you would call it, the Titanium pack. Obviously, I don't have the Titanium pack in store anymore because I've already opened it. And yeah, if you haven't checked it out, do check out yesterday's upload where I opened the Titanium pack already. Now, these are the contents. The years include 1990 all the way up to 2009, obviously non-prize cars from American Overdrive and German Renaissance. Now, if you want to look at a quick little summary on everything that you can get from this pack, you can see it right here. So these are all the ultra rares, the epics, the legendaries, and I gotta say, look, from a design perspective, I think that this is kind of cool. Look, most of the cars that I'm going to be reviewing today, I'm going to be honest with you right now, are going to be pretty useless, okay, going forward into the game. I think they're going to be relatively useful for the challenges, for the challenge levels, for the Lamborghini STO. That's not to say that, you know, the Cadillac Evoque is going to win you an STO, but the Cadillac Evoque might play a part in helping you win the STO by passing a couple of the levels, you know what I mean? That being said, it's a pretty terrible pack, I'm going to tell you up front right now. But from a design perspective, I kind of like the concept that they're going for, mainly the fact of the two updates that they decided to use, German Renaissance and American Overdrive. One update is really OG, right? We're talking like this is a 2019 update. Then we've got American Overdrive, which is a little bit more newer, like a 2023. I want to say 23. I might be wrong. Was it 23, 24? But yeah, you've got a decent amount of years separating these two updates, which means that if you're a player that perhaps joined in, like, you know, post-pandemic, you might not have a lot of German Renaissance cars, but you definitely had that start for American Overdrive. But then again, if you were a player that came, you know, pre-pandemic, then you would have had a pretty decent start at German Renaissance as well. So I think there's a great little mix in terms of older cars in top drives and newer cars in top drives. Again, at the end of the day, that ultimately doesn't mean anything. Like I said, from a design perspective, I kind of like that little touch. And the fact that, you know, at least they're putting in the older updates to kind of give an homage to the older player, you know, because older players will probably have things like the Roof CTR3, the Roof RT12S, maybe even the Roof CTR2, stuff like that. So I think that's pretty cool that they added that. Anyway, let us begin. As always, with the pack, Der Kaiser, rightly rated, requires some criteria, requires a special tag challenge, and I might as well, you know, special tag challenge, might as well put it as like special tag challenge, Apex, GT series, you know, whatever it is, you know, stuff like that, events that force you to not only use the cars but to upgrade them as well. I mean, now that we have racing objectives, you know, now that we're being forced to literally upgrade cars as a daily task, it kind of just, you know, it makes these cars useful but also more forced. So yeah, that's why we have that rank. But anyway, let us begin. So as always, you know, before I begin, I always say this, let us begin. But before I begin, this is my personal opinion based off the experiences that I played, you know, based on my experience of playing top drives over, you know, 8 years plus. I have to say with every video, it's a quick little disclaimer. Okay, BMW X5, Robin's Wonders World plus or minus 3 RQ. How that thing is still a ultra rare is beyond me. The only thing that BMW X5 brings to the table, in my opinion, is it's a style icon. That's it. And when do we see 5-time style icon events? Maybe once every 3 months in clubs, and that's about it. So, Robin's Wonders World of plus or minus 3 RQ. Whether this thing is an epic, a super rare, an ultra rare, it has that style icon niche, but it isn't a good car. It doesn't handle, no MRI. We got the BMW 540i up next. Again, Robin's Wonders World of plus or minus 3 RQ. I can see both those cars being 49, 48s. BMW 123D, same story, man. Same story. 123D. Rear wheel drive standard 74 handling just isn't good enough. 83 when you max it out. Look, this is not a direct comparison, but if we're looking at the Acura RSX, I get it. It's not rear wheel drive like the BMW, but they're both, you know, kind of two-wheel, they're on four-wheel drive, you know, standard tire cars, and one just handles so much better. 89 compared to, I think, 82 or 83 when you max the 123D out. Like, these two cars are you're never going to compare them together, I guess, because one's rear wheel drive and one's front wheel drive. But what I want to say is that, you know, the handling difference between these two cars is absolutely crazy. Stock, the RSX is 80, and stock, that is 74, and they're the same RQ, which is insane. I know that rear wheel drive gets a little bit of a traction bonus, but not like freaking 6 RQ, 6 grip, 6 handling points, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, the little traction bonus that rear wheel drive gets doesn't override having 6 less handling points. You get what I mean? All right, moving on. Volkswagen Touareg. This one's up next. This one, I gotta say, regards a special tag challenge, I don't think it deserves to be like a super or anything like that. I think it's fine as an ultra rare. It just handles a little bit better than the X5, and it's enough for it to stay up because it does break that 80 threshold. 72 gets you up to 80 handling. 70 only gets you up to 77. Pretty big differences there. But yeah, I would say regards special tag challenge, Apex GT Series, whatever it is. I wouldn't be using it anywhere else. Cadillac Escalade Sport, I want to say same thing. That's a little bit of a dragster. Very low 0 to 60. Not a high top speed. Handling is terrible. MRA isn't the greatest. But it's got a very, very low 0 to 60, and I would capitalize on that. You know, if I need to use an RQ51 car for the hill climb, I could consider using the Escalade Sport because of that super low 0 to 60. Another car that I can think of that is a very low RQ car, I believe is an Infinity, but I don't know what the stock, yeah, is this thing. So that's 4.7, but stock is 5.9. This is 5.2. But yeah, the Infinity is RQ50, that's 51. Yeah, I think it deserves to be in this, you know, requires a special tag challenge tier. Because it isn't a great car, but it isn't, you know, useless. I don't think it should go down to a super rare. The Buick, I never know how to pronounce that, Centiemi or whatever, Centime, whatever it is. Requires a special tag challenge, Apex GT Series. Very, very niche scenarios will require a Buick, the Buick Centime. I still don't know how to pronounce that, but this is a very good time to talk about that because deliver at any price. 6 to 9 seater. Let me show you my hand because I'm 19 and 7. I don't have the best hand here, but I'm gonna show you my hand for this event because this is one of those really rare occasions where that Buick is actually being used. So let's go with the Dodge. Yeah, Dodge SRT Hellcat. And I'm using the Buick here actually, so I'm using the Buick, so there it is. And then the last car I'm using, I can't remember what it is actually. Oh yes, it's the Mazda. So look, I have 53 RQ to work with. And I need to use the performance tire car because the majority of the track sets on this is going to be a dry wet. So I go to car attributes, I go to performance, and lo and behold, I'm left with just 7 cars. I have 53 RQ to work with, and I'm being forced to use basically a Buick Centime. So, you know, there are very rare scenarios where you can use it, and honestly, then you can even argue that the Hyundai IMAX N Drift Bus is a better option. You can even argue that this is a better option, right? But yeah, very, very rare scenarios. This is probably one of them. You're not going to see many events where you kind of, you know, forked into having to use that car. You're not being forced to use that car. It's a special tag challenge kind of car. Everything needs to work in its favor for it to be used in something, you know? BMW X3 is up next, 7272. I'm gonna say requires a special tag challenge as well. I don't think it's Robin's Wonders World, and I think the only reason why I'm gonna put the BMW in that tier is if I remember correctly, it should be relatively lightweight. I want to say 1007. Yeah, there you go, 1757. All right, we talked about this recently in a pack review episode. Back in the day, being less than 2,000 kilograms was insane for an all-surface tire car, and having 1,007 in that was pretty damn good. Obviously now that isn't as flashy anymore because there are all-surface tire four-wheel drive cars out there that's like 1,004, 1,005 kilograms, but 1,007, you know what, you're still considered light in my books. Chevrolet Blazer ZR2 is definitely Robin's Wonders World plus or minus 3 RQ. That car was overcorrected in the rarity change. It should have stayed 49, or if you really wanted to push it, 50, right? But 52 is way too high. BMW 130i, that's up next. I'm gonna say requires a special tag challenge, medium ground clearance, and 90 handling. Those are the 2 things that you want to remember for that car. Volkswagen Golf R32, the fake R32 as I like to call it, is a piece of shit. BMW, I know some people are gonna be mad at that. But guys, remember, I have been playing this game for 8 years. And I'm an ultra rare collector, and every time I get that fake R32, I don't even want to keep it. And guess what? I'm flourishing without it, and I've been flourishing for 8 years without it, and there was never once I encountered an event or even a special tag challenge where I actually needed this car. Think about it actually, was this car even needed in any single special tag challenge? Because I never needed it. I don't even unpack this car often, you know what I mean? It's so insignificant. It's terrible. All right, BMW 535D Touring is up next. I'm gonna put that in require special tag. AT4 handling with medium ground clearance, road drive standard. Then this one I'm gonna put in the same tier because these two cars are basically 9C handling, medium ground clearance. One is a slightly lower 0 to 60. Dodge Challenger RT is up next. Again, very mid. A lot of very mid cars. Camaro's a little better. I think it requires some criteria, and the Roof 3400. Some people might even say is rightly rated. And the main reason why that Roof is more rightly rated is why it's more sought after is because it's a German ultra that actually handles well, and to many people's surprise, not a lot of German ultras handle above 95 max. 95 max means like 86 stock handling. So Germany, ultra rare, let's sort by handling. Let's go descending. And then to make it even, you can already see that the Roof is already at the forefront of all that. If you go by all cars, it's one of the best handling German ultra rares in the game. It still is, and it has been since it was introduced 6 years ago, and it still is one of the best handling ones. Actually, no German ultra rare goes over 86 handling stock. It's crazy. We need a new German update where there's like some kind of German twisty specialist as an ultra at the same time. We need that. We're lacking that. Only 4 cars are 86. I'm pretty sure there's probably an American car that has a higher 91 91 on that WTCC. 86 is honestly low. Japan's got some really high ones, 90, 88, 90, 90. I'm going off a tangent here. The UK, 92, 89, 88, 88. Yeah, the Lotuses, the Zenuses, and stuff like that. So honestly, Germany's lacking with the handling department. 86, 86, 86, 86. Even the Italians, they've got some decent handling cars, 91, 89, 87. So anyway, the Roof is still at the forefront of things. I'm gonna put it in rightly rated. The Dodge Max Club is shit. Honestly, so bad. 66 handling is something I would expect in like a freaking uncommon. Cadillac Evoque, I think it's okay. I'm gonna put it in require some criteria. Just gotta use in those Cadillac events. BMW Z4M Coupe, I'm also gonna put it up there with the rightly rated category. This and the Roof 3400S are very similar in terms of high handling, lighter weight German cars with low-ish 0 to 60s. BMW definitely better on that department, being 4885, also the same RQ as the Roof 3400. So those two cars kind of trade blows. BMW 330D, 87 handling, rear-wheel drive. I mean, again, the handling is better. Still not as good as the Acura RSX. I don't know why I like to talk about the Acura RSX as rear-wheel drive. I mean, that's front-wheel drive. These BMWs are rear-wheel drive. I'm going to say special tag challenge. BMW 135 convertible, again, special tag challenge. Honestly, this one, I want to go one up. Robin's Wonders World. Why is it RQ57? I don't think it should be RQ57. I think 55, maybe. BMW 335i. Again, why are you RQ59? Way too freaking high. 5179 and you're RQ59? That's ridiculous. I don't care what your MRA is. You don't have a top speed. I get that you're medium ground clearance, but your handling sucks. Yeah, definitely way out of its depth. That should be like RQ55, 56. The Cadillac Image is up next. This one is going to be requires a special tag challenge. I do want to do one confirmation here. Is the Image medium ground clearance? Because I forget if it is. If it is medium ground clearance, there is some use to it, I guess. There is some use to it. Is it guaranteed that it's a saloon four-seater event? Medium ground clearance, perhaps. BMW 545i, I'm going to say requires some criteria. And then the Roof RGT, I'm going to say rightly rated. Again, that is a great little German hybrid. And if you've watched my episode of best cars per track set for the ultra rare category, the Roof RGT is one of the better cars you can use on the North Loop options. And then also kind of like the hybrid option tracks. It's not the best, but it's like top 3. Buick Volite, that's up next. I'm going to put that in requires some criteria. It's got a low-ish 0 to 60. And again, I do want to fact check this, but I think it is indeed medium ground clearance. Yes, it is indeed medium ground clearance. So there you go. One car that I'm looking forward to getting. I don't have that one yet. The handling is terrible. Though. Oh, man. Look, you guys comment down below, what do you think where the Buick Volite should be? Requires some criteria or somewhere lower? Because I look at the handling and I think that that's absolutely terrible, honestly. But is it a decent Ocean City Street car? That's the question, right? I know it's not beating a Ford Sprint, but is it at least a decent option? That's the question. Yeah, this one I don't know much about because, clearly I don't own the car. So I'm going to just put it in mid. Moving on, BMW M6. Oh, these two are actually nice. Okay, Der Kaiser, maybe too much. M6, I'm gonna put in rightly rated, but I'm gonna leave the 750 Li there. I got that 750 Li just yesterday from the titanium pack, and I'm really happy I got it. I think something that people tend to forget is that the M6 and the 750, these two cars have 90 MRA. 90. Which is insane. And the 750 Li is basically like the second coming of the Maybach, right? The Maybach long delay is 5066 with about 90 MRA as well. This one is 4974 with the same amount of MRA, and these two cars at the same top speed of 155 miles per hour. I'm very excited to max my 750 332, and I'll be using it in events. And then definitely in clubs, center tire events and clubs. I think it'll be a very useful car. It wants to be a dragster. It knows that it is a dragster, and I think that thing definitely deserves their Kaiser. It used to be an epic, and it's gone down to an ultra rare, and now I think it's a very, very good ultra rare. The Chevy Lumina, that's up next. This one at best requires some criteria. And the BMW M6 convertible. I mean, again, great MRA, right? Decent option for the fast circuit. Used to be Blossom Choice. Used to be the best car for the fast circuit. Still a good car, but it isn't the best option anymore. Now moving on, we have the Epics. So yeah, I mean the ultra rares, they don't look too good, right? Most of them are trash level. It's not better with the Epics, honestly. The Volkswagen Phaeton W12 is a special tag challenge kind of required car. The Chevy ESS, again, I think is Robin's wondrous roll to plus and minus 3 RQ. This thing was overcorrected to hell. It used to be RQ59. It used to be an ultra rare. I know it got a little bit of a stat buff, but 67? You gotta be kidding me. BMW Nazca C2, special tag. Roof RK, special tag. RCT, some people might disagree. I think it's Robin's wonderful plus or minus 3 RQ. Now, I'm not saying that the RCT should be an ultra rare. It shouldn't. But this thing was definitely overcorrected. That thing should not be RQ70. I know that it has 93 MRA. I get that. But 4.30 to 60 is honestly terrible. I think RQ70 is a bit too high. I think they overcorrected a lot of the dragsters, like for example the Effigy. Yes, I get that the Effigy should be an epic, but is it too high of an epic RQ? That's the question, right? So I think the RCT, it used to be a 65, and honestly, I didn't even think it was that great. So yeah, now that it's been bumped up to a 70, that's just crazy, dude. Like, that's way too high. That is way too high in RQ, in my opinion. Chevy Corvette Stingray, special tag. It won me a Tri-Series prize card. That was because it was the first Tri-Series since American Overdrive dropped. Since then, I've never used it again. Oh god, all these roofs, man. Remember back in the day when all of them had amazing MRA? Because now none of them are just useful anymore. Special tag, special tag. CTSV sedan, I'm gonna put it in requires some criteria because it's medium ground clearance, and I genuinely think that that's going to be a gatekeeper for the challenges ahead. The Volkswagen W12 Roadster is also decent. If I remember correctly, I want to say 95 MRA, high top speed, okay 0 to 60. It's kind of like Volkswagen's edition of a Hellcat, you know, so, you know, it's not too bad. Challenger 1320 ain't bad either. I'm gonna put that in requires some criteria. It's a great RQ bargain for a dragster, actually. The only issue is that, you know, if you wanted to use a Dodge dragster, most people are just gonna try and fit in a Hellcat Red Eye anyway. But if you really couldn't use a Hellcat Red Eye, if you only had 74 RQ to use, this Challenger is not that bad. The only thing that's weighing it down is that the top speed is not very high, but the MRA is there, and the 0 to 60 is very, very low. Then we got the Golf GTI W12, and in my opinion, damn, if I'm calling the W12 Roadster the Hellcat for Volkswagen, this is like the demon for Volkswagen. This thing is great. Der Kaiser. It's a very good car. Look, I think everybody knows this, but I freaking hate Volkswagen. I really, really, really do. That being said, I have the W12 and I haven't fully upgraded because I understand that it's a very good car. So if we go into my cars, boom. No, sorry, wrong one. Boom. 2.90 to 60, great MRA, high top speed. It knows what it wants to be. And if there was ever a German, you know, Volkswagen drag event, that would be a great car to use. All right, Legendaries. I mean, where do we begin, right? I guess we're going to start with the Volkswagen W12 Synchro. It's Robin's Wonders with a plus or minus 3 RQ. I'm waiting for that thing to be an epic. It'll be an okay epic, but as a legendary, it's terrible. Roof Takara. I'm going to say the car special tag. Look, I don't think that should be an epic. That's my opinion. It's got a good MRA, 89 MRA if I remember correctly. Handles pretty well, high top speed. 0 to 60 is terrible. I get that. 0 to 60 is terrible. But everything else is going in favor for the Takara. Good top speed, good MRA, decent handling when you max it out. The only thing is that it's like a double-edged sword. You want to go drag spec on that car, but the handling is decent. But if you go drag spec on that car, you're never getting 90 handling, right? You're only gonna get like 86. So yeah, that's a little bit annoying as well. But that is an okay drag. So I don't like okay enough to remain an RQ80 in my opinion. The serve, I think the serve is all right. I'm gonna put that in requires some criteria, or maybe even rightly rated. I kind of want to put it there because there are not a lot of four-wheel drive Chevys out there that you can use in the rain. But the serve is one of them. Also, it serves that 90s niche, and I'll one-up you. Not a lot of four-wheel drive 90 Americans cars with performance tires in there as well. So I'm gonna put that in rightly rated. Borrego, guys, what do we think about the Borrego? You think it was overcorrected? You think it should have just stayed an epic? That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I don't think it should be 81. I think it should be 80. Should be a legendary. Looking at the current 79 off-road tire cars, look, overall I think all off-road tire cars were slightly overcorrected. I mean, I think they all should have deserved buffs in RQ, but I think some of them were a bit extreme in terms of how much they went up in. The Borrego, I'm gonna put in GT series. I think as a legend it's inoffensive, but 81 might be a little bit too high, maybe an 80. BMW X5, let's talk about these two cars straight off the bat. I think they're okay as well. I mean, not okay, but like special tag challenge. Roof CTR2 again requires, no, I can't require special tag challenge. I know it was very useful in like one tri-series last year, but that was because it was like one of 3 legendaries you could have used in that tri-series. I can't remember what the requirements were. But it was a prize card that I definitely didn't win. But yeah, that was the only reason. It was only very useful in that tri-series because it was one of like 3 legends you could have unpacked. It might have been maybe one of 2 legends you could have unpacked. It was a very niche tri-series. I don't remember what it was. Cadillac CTS-V sedan race car, I think it's decent. I think it's rightly rated. The Roof R Turbo, again, it's got 105 MRA if I remember correctly, so that's not too bad as well. And then these are the top 2. I'm going to put the CTR3 in rightly rated, and I'm going to put the RT12S in Der Kaiser. So overall, you tell me, is it a good pack? Is it a bad pack? I mean, I think, like I said at the beginning of the video, I think this is a pretty terrible pack, and most of the cars here are probably, you know, not worth your time, not worth your while. It's a Lamborghini prize car, but again, it's a rear-wheel drive Lamborghini prize car, so it's not the worst thing in the world. But overall, I'm just really happy that from my titanium pack, I managed to pull a BMW 750 Li, because that's honestly a car that I genuinely really wanted, and I'm really happy to get it. So I have it in my garage now, and I'll probably max it out like starting tonight or something like that. But anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for today. I'm not gonna be opening this pack, man. It's a waste. Hope you guys have a great day. Remember to stay safe, wash your hands, and blossom out. Peace.
Bro, this song just makes me so happy.
Me too.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Sit back, relax in my Bonneville Pontiac. Hold tight all night, cruise to Jackson.